What is going on, bros? T-Shroom here, in for the Investing Bros. Do I have my glasses? I do not. I do not. I don't actually need glasses to read or see or anything like that. The glasses that I have been wearing are purely for blue light protection. But I wasn't looking at screens too much this weekend, so my eyes are feeling good. I'm feeling good, bros. Had a good weekend. I hope you did too. Hope you got to spend a little bit of time with old mom and show her some love. Bitcoin looks like it's getting a little bit of love this morning, pushing higher. Let's go ahead and jump on into the charts here. Brought to you all by iTrust Capital, who we trust for our crypto IRAs. You can see here Bitcoin pushing all the way up to 62,007 is the live price, and that's pretty bullish. Why is this bullish to me? Because we're up above this downtrending line of support is number one, and I'm here on the 4-hour. But number two is that we're getting a decisive movement away from these lows, right? Bitcoin all through here up until, let's see what time this was. It was this morning. It was basically midnight. Yeah, so around midnight, Bitcoin started to pump to the upside. But until then, it had been having wicks basically within a percentage of the lows here. And that's discouraging, right? That's not instilling a bunch of confidence into investors that this is going higher anytime soon. But then we got some action to the upside. So this is nice to see because we're putting some distance between these lows and really getting a good confirmation and putting a lot of confidence in of this higher low here. This higher low here, very important. And we don't hear it enough. We have been brought a higher low. Now, this is an old higher low. I get it. But it's fun to celebrate. And it's Mother's Day weekend. It's post Mother's Day weekend week is really the name of this week. Anyway, so we got to get funky. We got to do some throwbacks. But this is the 4-hour. I wanted to open up on the 4-hour because it's the most exciting chart. But I would say that we're also seeing some very exciting things out on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. So check this out. I reported last week, I think it was even in the thumbnail, I reported some somewhat like discouraging, like bearish, a little bit of warning going on in the thumbnail. Let me see if I can find this one for you guys. But we have reversed course, and it's looking better now. So here was my thumbnail, which, by the way, you guys can go view the rest of our videos here on Investing Bros. But you can see what this was looking like after this. I can't go over it because it'll play. But after the green wick lower, we had the candle that was printing quite a bit lower than that green wick. So jumping back over the charts, let me show you what I mean. This candle here, it did print quite a bit lower than this candle body, but it was able to stay up above and print above, and this is the weekly chart, that 61.3 level. So this candlestick actually, if you click it, you can see it closed just at around 61,450. Now, why is this level important? Well, the bros will know, but if you go out to the monthly chart, this level, 61,300, coincides with these candles closings back in the last bull market, the top of the market, right? Less the wicks. So if you don't count the wicks, this is the top of the market. These are the top candle body closes for Bitcoin up until we smashed new all-time highs just a couple of weeks ago. Wait, why am I feeling bearish? Why am I feeling so discouraged? We just hit all-time highs in Bitcoin just a couple weeks ago. These are the thoughts that I hope I am inspiring within you today as Bitcoin just continues to trade somewhat sideways. What I do want to point out is that although I'm feeling more bullish because we've got this nice higher low here cemented and confirmed, this could easily get rejected off of a variety of lines and come back down and maybe not put in a new low, right? But maybe couldn't come and put in a less than bullish run, right? Something like this is kind of my base case at this point where, I mean, you saw we rejected here. We couldn't get candle bodies to close on the daily chart higher than 64,000, right? I'm guessing that we may see that again. If we don't, and Bitcoin says, we're going higher, right? And we get a higher close, that's good, right? That's a higher high, and that means more than likely that we'll start to see kind of an uptrend this way. And that could put us back at all-time highs. Let's see if we follow this extremely crude drawing here, but I would say somewhat accurate, right? That could put us back at all-time highs here, probably around 63. Probably around June is when this trajectory would lead us there, right? But knowing Bitcoin, we would probably get there like mid to late June, by the way. We would probably get there a little earlier or a little later, right? Of course, that's a very crude drawing that I just put on there, right? But that's kind of the base case. If we continue what? If we continue boring price action, so meaning not too much volatility, we saw 15% from the wick high to this low here in this bit of trading data. However, if we continue that boring sentiment, not a whole lot to shake out the bulls, but not really a whole lot to inspire new bulls to come in, then we would have a kind of a subdued move to the upside with a general bullish bias, and that would be nice. That would be nice to see, in my opinion. Again, I wouldn't say that. I would say that that's generally my base case as of today, right? Because we've gotten this higher low that is pretty convincing, and now bulls are starting to test to the upside. I will be much more inclined to have that bias stronger, have more confidence in that bias. Again, let me just draw it back out. This is kind of what I'm talking about. Having a bias where we do come in and put in new higher lows, and then come in and find lower highs. Goodness gracious. We come in and put in higher highs, and then come in and put in higher lows as well. And then we're able to go ahead and make movements to the upside. That's kind of the base case that I'm working with here. I'm much more inclined to think that that's going to happen. My confidence grows, right? The more that we see movement to the upside today, right? We're getting a nice little bullish pop, but I still want to see the candle body at least close higher than 63,000, right? Because that's what these two did. A higher close than that, we have wicked higher than that so far today, which is nice to see. We got up as high as 63,145. 63,269 was the wick high here. So I think we could potentially get a candle body close, and if we do higher than these closes back here, and if we do, that's very bullish, right? And we can start to expect much more bullish outcomes. But until then, I'm not getting my hopes up, right? This base case is a hope. It's not a plan, right? It's a hope, and it's not it's not guaranteed for sure. But we're hoping for it. We're seeing where it's a hope. It's nice to have a little bit of hope. Let's take a look at Kaspa, because Kaspa was breaking down here. I wanted to take a look at that one. Let's see, before we jump into that, let's see how the bros are doing this morning. DCA and Prey said, this looks like 2021 distribution that happened leading up to May 19th dump. Okay. Interesting take there. Moho said, well, he's responding to somebody. Looks like the typical post-halving that happens every cycle. That's kind of what I'm thinking more, is it's got to be, people say that buying Bitcoin and holding is easy. This is the part that's not easy, right? This is the part where, yes, you can become wealthy, but you have to overcome the fear, right? You have to be one with patience. And I think that it's going to be ultimately very rewarding if you're able to pull this out. Bulls in the market 3+ years, been in the market 3+ years, but I'm really questioning things. I'm told it's a bull market now, but I don't know. Everything sits. Is this what we get for having big players involved? Everything sits. Well, I hear you. Being in the market for 3 years, that's a good amount of time to gain some experience. Look, nobody knows what's going to happen, right? But so far, we are pretty much right on schedule, right? Once the halving happens, historically, we start to move to the upside, but it's still pretty flat. We don't see that. We don't see that face melting movement until a few months later, in most cases. So, if it's starting to be too much for you, I understand. But I would encourage you to just keep hodling on, especially Bitcoin, and you'll be doing just fine. B-Ball Golf 72 said we'll get there, maybe, but maybe earlier or later. T-Shrimp. Yeah, thank you. Kasha Katz has got his coffee and donuts. I love it. I'm buying Pith, ETH, CAS, and H&T today. Nice, getting a little DCA going. Getting that DCA day going. Nice. Very cool. Cuxa Crypto said, we just lost 40% plus on our altcoins. This retracement and Floki, Sheeb, Pepe, Bonk want to start pumping today. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And we're going to be getting into the news here in just a second as well. There's a couple of interesting headlines. El Toro saying, how was your weekend? My weekend was pretty good. Got some good relaxation, much needed relaxation for sure. And lots of GMs here from Moho, from Brian D. Smash the likes on your way in, says Joe Nickel. Very, very much appreciate that. GM Bros, it's shroom time. That's right. Do we get glasses or no glasses shroom? You got no glasses shroom. Good morning, all. I will have my glasses ready just in case. Very cool, Pop. And then last one I'll do here. Crypto Meme said, yo, GM Bros. GM indeed. All right, let's go ahead and jump into Kaspa here. Kaspa was very bullish. It had broken up on this downtrending line of what was resistance all through here. Right, all through here, Kaspa was banging its head on this downtrending line. And finally, we got a nice break to the upside. But on the daily chart, we could not print a candle above that line. So that's bearish. And now, now we're not able to get back up above it. We need to print back up above it, or else we're going to probably have some price discovery to the downside. Now, what is nice to see here, is that we got up above the midline of the Bollinger Band, right? We put more daylight in between the price than we did here, the price and the midline. So that's good to see. But other than that, I mean, this is a lower low still, right? And this is a lower high, right? So maybe this downtrending line of resistance isn't as relevant as maybe, if you're trying to be bullish, maybe this pennant here you could potentially draw. I mean, I drew it from the wick, so I'd probably need to draw it from the candlestick there. Yeah, I'm not even going to draw that because I don't have too much faith in that. But down here, these are a little bit, this line of support is a little bit more robust, I'd say. So maybe Kaspa is it's wicked through, it's had a fake breakout to the upside, and now it's coming down. It wants to test. It has tested this line one more time before more of a breakout. That could be the story that investors are seeing for Kaspa. Let's look at the oscillators here. Whoop. Lux Algo oscillator matrix showing a little bit of a reversal dot there. Not great at all. But it's not, I wouldn't say it's it's getting like aggressively sold, that's for sure, according to the oscillator matrix. But also, not so great. MACD lines are still pointing up and to the right, but are not up above that zero line. Histogram starting to round off there, losing bullish momentum. So Kaspa's kind of in a wait and see pattern, but it is trading down below this level that I really like of 12.5. So 0.125 is kind of where it got rejected as well. Yeah, pretty much right there. So why is that level important? Well, I don't know that it's important, right? But historically, this is where Kaspa was unable to break through once, twice, and also when it broke down back here in December. Excuse me. It went ahead and put in lower lows, right, and kept kind of moving to the downside in a downtrend before a huge spike to the upside that coincided with the bigger bullish, bigger crypto bull market. So that's what we're kind of waiting to see. It would kind of be nice to see Kaspa independent of the crypto market make a move on its own, like we've seen with a couple other coins, like Render has done really, really well, and different things like that. Oh, yeah, but you're right, Eric. Pepe up 7% this morning. Probably bonk. Let's see. Ordi only up 2%. Ordi not looking too great here. Definitely getting in some lower lows, higher lower lows and lower highs here. Not looking great for one of the meme coins I hold. But you know, I I will not be sad if my meme coin strategy doesn't play out too well this cycle. Although the meme coin narrative is definitely something that a lot of people are taking more seriously. Got our economic print tomorrow and then Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be the bigger day, but PPI will be coming out tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Wednesday. I feel like these are earlier than they normally are. 7:30 a.m. What time zone is this in? I feel like I had this issue the other day. All right, well, disregard the time. I'm not sure why it's so early. I think it usually comes out at 8:30. Anyway, yeah. So this will be interesting to watch. The forecast is 3.7, so that's good. Economists are predicting, a good bullish print. They're predicting that there will be a downtick in CPI, but right now, the previous print was 3.8. So as long as we can get something lower than 3.8, and then that would be fine, I think. But if we could get something lower than 3.6, right, that would be kind of a bonus round for the market. I think bulls will really take that in stride. All right. Well, that's going to be our economic data. We're going to be getting that on Wednesday. That's going to definitely be important, and I think that it more than likely will move the market one way or the other, depending on how that print turns out. All right. So Saturday we had on one of the awesome leaders over at Efani. There's a link in the description if you were thinking about that over the weekend, thinking about risks of SIM swap and other security breaches into your mobile devices. You're thinking about that. Go ahead. I'm just reminding you that the link for the second month free of Efani's America's Most Secure Mobile Service is available in the link in the description. And Efani is making possible this episode today. Let's get into the news here, bros. America's largest bank, J.P. Morgan Chase, discloses spot Bitcoin ETF holdings per the SEC, but it's not as bullish as you think. It could be, but it's not as bullish as you think. Essentially, there was some commentary here from James Seifert, who I know, like, and trust on these issues for sure. He said, just FYI for your information, everyone, J.P. Morgan and Susquehanna, which also owns these ETFs and was all over this site last week, and others are just market makers and or APs. Their ownership isn't necessarily indicative of anything other than this is how many shares they had on a specific date, right? So, kind of zooming out, James is pointing out here that it's not necessarily true that JP Morgan is starting to build a position in and of its own out of its own investment thesis, right? It's a market maker, so it has to hold these Bitcoin ETFs on its balance sheet for X amount of time in order to be that market maker. So it's a good point. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that what James is pointing out has to be true. It could also be true. I will point out that it's possible that JP Morgan is building a position, right? But as a market maker, you have to remember that there's a variety of motivations for why the Bitcoin ETF could have found its way onto JP Morgan and other market makers' balance sheets. Eric Balkanis piles on, what is notable, in my opinion, is the sheer number of hodlers that each has so far. iBet is up to 250. That's bonkers for first quarter on market. Here's comparison of the other ETFs launched same week as Bitcoin ones, and we still have like a week of 13Fs to roll in yet. So these are all 13F filings, meaning corporate and bank filings that are holding Bitcoin, or holding the Bitcoin ETFs, I should say, as opposed to others. So all of the ones that are getting any kind of traction here are all Bitcoin ETFs, right? Whereas T-Rex, Apple, Target, whatever the heck this stuff is, these look like Apple and Google leveraged ETFs, Calamos, I have no idea what any of this other stuff is, but it's not Bitcoin, except for Roundhill, Bitcoin CCSTR ETF. I don't know what that is. Interesting. But the long story short, Bitcoin is getting the love from Wall Street. Whether or not that's through money market makers or not, it still doesn't. I mean, that aspect doesn't matter because that's people who are building a position or at least trading the Bitcoin ETFs. So I would say, a lot of people are kind of making the obvious joke, JP and observation, which is valid. I'm not saying it's not valid, but JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon saying all this stuff about Bitcoin, but then, and that it's bad. But then JP Morgan, his bank that he's the CEO of, comes out with Bitcoin on its balance sheet, right? So he's a hypocrite. He is a hypocrite, 100%. But he also is on top of a very large financial mountain, right? Then that mountain, as Bitcoin becomes more normalized, is almost impossible for it to not interact with Bitcoin. So to say that JP Morgan is just gobbling up Bitcoin in one department and then its CEO is downplaying it, trying to suppress the price, isn't necessarily 100% true. It could be, but as James Safer points out, there's a possibility that all they're doing is just market making and taking fees, which there's a clear incentive for them to be doing that. All right. Bob said, gotta face the facts, even if you don't like meme coins. They make a lot of people a lot of money. I have made more trading meme coins than I have from any other crypto narrative. There you go. And Trade Intuition saying, what's up, people? So, yeah, I'm definitely not against the meme coins. I hold two. So far, they're Dogecoin. I hold Dogecoin and Ordi. So far, Dogecoin has been far and away, a better investment than Ordi. But it's not that I don't like meme coins. I think they have a place. It's just, they are different. And I think that a lot of folks may be getting led astray by meme coins. But, I'm not upset by that. I'm just, I don't want the bros to be led astray. Meme coins are different from utility coins like Polygon and ICP and Cardano and Ethereum. Like they're in a casino environment. And so when you are investing or trading, make sure that you manage your risk accordingly, meaning use less risk. Let's see. Trade Intuition said, smash the likes so your support. Lots of alpha here. Smash the likes. Absolutely, bros. Smash the likes and consider subscribing if you are getting some value out of this experience. I know I am. I love doing this. When will Tim be back, T-Shroom? Tim will be back today, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He was traveling for Mother's Day and should be back today. So thank you for asking. Fade and Tradfi said, memes are super high risk, but meh, I guess they're okay. Yeah, no, they're okay. They're definitely okay. I mean, they're cool. They're a technological innovation and a cultural innovation, I would say. Just as much as the next thing. Are they what I want to buy and hold for the next 10 years? Maybe Doge, maybe Ordi, right? But as I look at like Bonk and Kakinu and like all these other meme coins, they might be more valuable in 10 years. They might be, right? And I lose that opportunity, I suppose. But look, I'm in crypto because it's better than stocks. I don't want to be getting into jet fuel crypto because it's better than crypto, right? At some point, you have to it's part of risk management, right? But if you're making a lot of money in meme coins, trading them, that's great. Don't, if you're profitable, I would say don't stop. Keep making money, baby. Just make sure that you understand that they're different from utility coins. And I'm pretty sure folks like Bob, who commented here, I'm pretty sure Bob understands that. Metaplanet makes Bitcoin a reserve asset as Japan's debt mountain grows. I think this quotation says it all pretty well here. Metaplanet has adopted Bitcoin as its strategic reserve asset. The move is a direct response to sustained economic pressure in Japan, notably high government debt levels, prolonged periods of negative real interest rates, and consequently the weak yen, their currency over in Japan. So what do? When you're in a country that's a little bit crazy economically, you go ahead and you just reserve Bitcoin instead of yen, instead of Japanese bonds. And that's exactly what Metaplanet is doing here. Now, they're cutting edge, right? They're innovators. They're on the bleeding edge of doing this. I wouldn't expect a ton of other companies to start doing this immediately, but MicroStrategy obviously was one of the first to kind of pioneer this type of a move with the corporate treasury, and hopefully kind of a pickup in momentum here with MetaPlanet doing this strategy as well could potentially proliferate and become more popular. GameStop shares jumping 30% as trader Roaring Kitty, who drove up the meme craze, goes ahead and posts yet again online. And what was the post? It was this, and I love it. It's kind of a subtle, just kind of leaning forward in the chair post. That's it. That's all it is. But I think it says a lot. Why? Because I think right now the market is starting to get a little bit more interesting, right? And it feels, why? Why is it getting more interesting? Because we're at a point in the market where it feels really boring. It feels really sideways, right? Bitcoin, we're kind of getting excited because Bitcoin's getting a little bit of a bid today. But in reality, it's not much, right? It's not really moving it's not really moving all that bullishly today. There are some things that are bullish about it, but in reality, we're still in the bottom half of, if I drew a regression trend, of this regression trend, right? So it's, I guess we've tipped up into the top half. That's nice to see. But we're just barely above that. The point is that it's been dismal, right? It's been boring. And for traders or for noobs who are just getting into the market, likely you've seen a lot of them dump for a loss, buying up here, unfortunately, and selling down here. And hopefully not down here, but probably down here too. So that's right when it starts to get good, right? It starts to really pick up. And I think that it's only a matter, it might be a couple more days, might be a few more weeks even. And it could even be a month or two away, but the face melting move for Bitcoin is yet to be seen. Yes, this time is a bit different because of the ETFs. We've already seen what some may consider to be some face melting moves since the bear market, right? But others just may consider, and I count myself among them, I just consider that move to have put us about here, right? So the face melting aspect of another 250% in Bitcoin is still yet to come. But what comes along with those moments, with those movements to the upside? Huge pullbacks, right? 30% pullbacks. This one was a 26% pullback, right? Not to mention this 55% pullback that eventually came back and did 130%, right? And put in a new all-time high at that time. So where we are now, it's boring. It's lulling the noobs to sleep, right? But this is exactly where the experienced traders and investors thrive. Because right here, if you start to get debilitated, if you start to get unengaged, Bitcoin is going to run away from you. And that doesn't mean that we're only going up from here. No. Now let me kill this regression trend. What this means is that there's a potential for a bit of a sell-off. Let me throw the fibs on for this. A sell-off lower, right, before a move higher, right? So one last shakeout. And again, when I say one last, it doesn't mean it's going to happen at the end of this week or even at the end of May or at the end of June or even at the end of July. This could be sideways. Like I kind of started to paint a picture of how we start to kind of curve to the upside and get into all-time highs. Right? But we could do something like that and then come back down and just keep going sideways, right? Until we get a final flush down, potentially down to 48, and then a move higher, right? That is one thing that you need to expect. Now, if you're looking at this chart and that sends fear into your heart, you need to potentially take stock of what you're invested in, right? If Bitcoin, from where we are now, took a 21% haircut, would you be able to continue to pay your rent? Continue to go on that trip that you have planned with your spouse? Continue to pay for the birthday present for your kids? Continue to put food on the table? Continue to pay your car insurance, right? If the answer is no to any of those questions, you may want to go ahead and parse back from your investments, right? Sell a little bit and have some liquidity on the side in the event that we drop down. That is just risk management 101. Now, hopefully, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you're looking at this chart and you're thinking, ooh, I've got dry powder on the sidelines. I hope we get down that low so I can reaccumulate down at 48, 52, 50. Right? That I'm hoping for that because I know that we're going higher, but I would love to get Bitcoin back down a little lower. Well, if that's you, no matter what camp you're in, I'm really appreciative of you all going ahead and tuning in to the Investing Bros this morning, even if it's just to see me in my cool glasses, which you got disappointed by because there's no glasses today. I thank you so much for tuning in, and it's been a lot of fun. We've got a little bit more activity, but I'm thinking maybe I'll save it until the 3 p.m. show and we'll do it with Tim. But we've got some, this is something that I came across, reemerged on this weekend. This is the 6 things you need to thrive psychologically from Jordan Peterson. You can take a screenshot and look at this for yourself. But I'm thinking maybe Tim and I will dive into that a little deeper today at 3 p.m. or maybe in the bro time this week. We'll see. But I really like Jordan Peterson and his approach to some different things. All right, bros. If you're trading, keep those stop losses tight. It's been fun to hang out with you guys. I love it. I love the chat. I love the bros. If you are human, stay hydrated. We'll see you at 3 p.m.
Trying to make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms News got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.